Hey, welcome everyone to the community tier list, or Winter Sins squad community tier list video. This is just a meme video, just to poke fun at some of our the homies that we play with. If you know me, you know that this I'm a pretty big memer, and this is all a joke, so if you get offended, I don't care, you know what you signed up for. Next thing I want to say is that if you don't see yourself on this list, it's because you did not react to the post, the @everyone post. You might have heard me talking about it in-game. Well, maybe you should watch my announcements, because I really don't use the announcements that often. I mean, shit, we have some, we'll call them celebrities that even saw my announcements and reacted. And it'll be pretty funny to react to them or criticize them. And lastly, what I want to say is this tier video is based off of, obviously it's my own personal opinion, but I base it off of 4 kind of like areas. And then area 1 is knows how I play, knows what I want done without saying it. As I only squad lead, that's kind of a big thing, you know what I mean? Because situations change and shit gets fucked up, and knowing how what I want done is how to make a game go smoothly and how a squad runs effectively. Next up is skill. Skill is covered in a lot of things. So shooting, playing the role, how you communicate, driving, gunning, stuff like that. Next thing is perceived game knowledge. So this is kind of like knowing things outside of your own role that you normally play. So it's kind of like knowing the armor thickness of a BTR side, or you know what can pen it from the side at what angle at what distance, stuff like that. You know, and then the last thing is fun to play with. So some people are going to get some points definitely in this category just for being fun to play with. Yeah, let's jump right into it. So first up, we got Farmer Hatch here. I'm pretty sure Farmer has been playing with me for a very long time. I believe he might be one of the first 20 people to ever subscribe or follow me in Twitch. So very, very special place in my heart. Farmer here actually used to be in my top 3 gunners. All right, you guys know me. I squad lead, and I pretty much only drive. I very rarely gun. And that's just because I can focus on more things while the gunner can kind of defend me. So who doesn't want a gun for me? You know what I mean? Especially with a competent, knowledgeable driver. Farmer here was easily in my top 3 gunners at one point. I believe he's still in top 5. He's been playing with me for a very long time. Probably has just as many hours as I have, to be honest. And he knows the game pretty well. I think his shooting skill is a little bit lacking, but his gunner skill makes up for it. And he's definitely fun to play with, definitely without question. So I think we're gonna throw old Farmer here into A tier. Yeah, I'm pretty confident about that. One other thing I wanted to say is these we might change. We might change like some people's opinion once it's all said and done. And I also want to say that C tier is still passing, so don't be afraid that you're in C tier. C tier, like there's too many people. When I ran through this list, there's too many people in B tier. And now I'm going to look at B tier and C tier kind of like the same thing, kind of like a B plus and a B minus tier. So just keep that in mind. Next up, we got Dude Man. So Dude Man actually has, or Man Dude, has more hours than me, which is incredible. And, but he little lacking. I would say on the fun to play with, way up there. In terms of map knowledge, fuck map knowledge, game knowledge. He definitely trumps me there on a lot of little stuff. I would say knows how I play without saying it. A little bit less on that, just because he's relatively new to the regular audience or the regular group that I play with. But he's getting up there. I would say he's a solid B tier for now. Maybe drop down to C tier, but that's not because. Remember, guys, the B tier and C tier, they're almost like the same tier. It's just you got to have like slightly lower and slightly above, or else this B tier is going to be stacked. I think we're actually going to throw him in C tier. Yep. Sorry about that, dude. No, I would say knowing how I play and knowing what I want done without saying is a huge aspect. And also, it's a video game. You got to be fun to play with. So if you're not fun to play with, not saying you're not fun to play with, that's going to have a big impact too. Luckily, you are fun to play with, dude, man. So keep it up, I guess. Next up, we have Jellic, another long-time viewer, definitely a homie. Played to be a bunch, kind of weaned off. That's okay. Everyone gets bored of squad. Good player, definitely fun to play with. knows what I want done without saying it, I would say maybe not. And I would say its skill is a little bit lacking, so I think we might put him in C tier. Yeah, harsh. I almost don't even think he deserves C tier, but man, I have the memory of a goldfish, and I just don't remember certain people and how well they play. You know what I mean? Next up, we got B. Dean Cow. Brandon here has the unique and special award of being the only pilot that I've ever endorsed within my community. He's probably the only one that I allow, that I'm like, yeah, you're good. You're good to fly. We're good for it. Does he fuck up? Yeah, he sure fucking does. And we make fun of it, but for the most part, he knows what I want done, and he's relatively fun to play with. Perceived game knowledge could be lacking a little bit. There's a lot of times where I tell him why I'm doing something instead of what he wants done, and he's like, oh, I didn't think about that. And it's like, well, that's okay. That's what playing with a squad leader's for. Other than that, skill is relatively decent. I think he's okay at B tier. I think we're good there. Cheesy here haven't played with him in quite a while. This is Cheesy Guy of the Carolines clan. Me and Carolines go way back to the OISC days. Super cool bunch of guys. Cheesy here, I believe he's a pilot too. I believe he's a pretty damn good pilot. Could be wrong. And I remember him being pretty damn good. But unfortunately, I have to put him at a max of B tier because I haven't played with him in so long that I don't even fucking remember. I can't even rate him properly. You know what? I think we're gonna bring him down. I think we're gonna bring him down to C tier because I know he's good at the game, but I just haven't played with him a while, so I can't verify. You know what I mean? All the Carolines hated that. Next up, we got In Orbit. Definitely plays with me quite a bit, surprisingly. Some of you guys miss him. He plays with me very early on into my Friday streams. Definitely gets in a game or two. And I would say he's relatively quiet, but he's experienced. He's definitely picking up on how I play and how what I want done, which is great. That's incredible. And his game knowledge could be lacking a little bit. I would say that he fits in with our community pretty damn well. He can definitely take jokes and give them right back, which is exactly what you want. Skill, decent. I haven't really criticized him. He has made some good plays. Too much. I think we're going to put him at C tier. Yeah, still passing, but there's more he could work on. Next up, we got Arkansas. Probably the most shocking out of the group here. I mean, we'll see. But Arkansas here straight up has room temperature IQ and Twitch chat, but in-game has the mental fortitude to actually lead a squad, which I personally appreciate. I mean, my goal as a squad leader, especially when I'm teaching new people, is to eventually get them to the point where they want to lead a squad themselves, which is always the goal. So to see Arkansas, who may or may not be one of the people that I've taught, it's awesome to see. In terms of knowing what I want done, for the most part, he's pretty good. He's been in my Twitch chat for a very long time. His skill is relatively decent. I remember we played a game a few days ago. His shots were relatively on target using the hack kit. Perceived game knowledge, I mean, to be a good squad leader, you gotta have good game knowledge, so I would say that's probably good right there. And then fun to play with, yeah. I mean, he's a meme in chat, less of a meme in game, but I mean, he's still funny, you know what I mean? I'm actually gonna put him in B tier. I'm gonna put him in B tier just because the ability to squad lead on your own is great. Now, and I do want to say that Jellic here, I think we're going to move Jellic up to B tier because, squad leading on your own is a very difficult and taxing thing to do. And I know Jellic does do that sometimes when I'm full up or whatever. So have that communication and dealing with people, that's awesome. Even if it's a locked squad. All right, next up we got Creamy here, my favorite rally member. Get mad if you got to. Creamy here is a self-proclaimed full-time fire team leader. And I think his communication skills are on point. I would say his skills are pretty damn good. Possibly comp level. Knowing what I want done, I don't think he really knows, but he's really receptive to how I play a squad anyway, so I never really have to yell at him for anything. And obviously he's super fun to play with. Always memeing out, always doing shit like that. So we're very confident that he belongs at B tier, at a minimum. Next up, we got Ghost Raider, another long-time viewer. We played a lot when, you know, we first met back then, however many years ago. Haven't played too much recently. However, we haven't played too much, so that already kills the what I want done. As far as fun to play with, it's been so long since I've talked to him. It's really hard to judge. Skill, nothing of note. And perceived game knowledge, I would say it's pretty okay. I've had to correct him a few times. He definitely tries to jump in and teach other people. But sometimes it's like, all right, man, well, it's not that. You can't do that. Like, that's not a good idea. You know what I mean? So I think we got to put him in D tier. I think he's going to be the first D tier, only because we just haven't played that much, and I feel like it's been years, you know what I mean? I don't remember you play thousands and thousands of games in squad over, multiple years. You don't remember every single interaction, you know what I mean? So it's sad, but you're not F tier. You're not F tier. You still have a way up. If you get an F tier, you're pretty much like, all right, well, maybe I should just uninstall it. Next up, we have Finder. Yeah, so expat community member, a guest, if you will, reacted. I was kind of surprised when he reacted. I was like, man, I don't even know what I'm gonna say. I remember playing with him on the thing I can't talk about, or else I'll get banned. Don't worry, man, dude knows what I'm talking about. Just an inside joke. And as far as I remember, he's always pretty decent, at least in communication. Definitely fun to play with. Know how I want things done? No. I mean, we play so little, it's not even fair. I think, sadly, we're going to have to put him at D tier just because I don't know too much about him. So, don't worry, Ghost, you have a friend. It's Finder. Alright, next up is Bender. Bender, we don't play too much. And I tried my absolute hardest to remember playing them. For some reason, in my head, I remember his skill is really good. And I remember his game knowledge is good. I don't exactly remember if he's fun to play with, but, if you're good at the game, fun to play with is just like your fallback. And then he doesn't play with me enough to know map knowledge, so I think we're gonna have to put him in C tier. Yeah, sorry about that, Bender. We just don't play enough, man. And obviously, you can only fit 8 other people in a squad, so I can only fit 8 of you guys at once, so you gotta rotate. Share the winters. Next up, we got Jess from the 29th ID. Yes, our favorite mute sniper. Quiet-like, if you will. Quiet from Metal Gear Solid. Referring to. So she also shares a unique title of being one of the only people that I allow to play Marksman Kit. If you guys know me, you know Marksman I don't find very effective. Well, if I give an effective shooter who's patient the Marksman rifle, she can frag out 40 kills a game without question. Surprisingly, she often or sometimes chooses not even to use the Marksman Kit, just because she has more utility to the entire squad not running Marksman Kit. I sometimes see her running Scoped Medic, which she can play, a useful kit as well as fight, which is very good. So I think without... And another thing, not to hype her up, you know what I mean? I ain't no simp. But for someone that's mute, that does not use their microphone, that uses text to chat, we still have a lot of fun, and she's able to communicate effectively through text chat, which is incredible. And it really should be an example for people that don't want to use their mic. I'm not saying that no mics should be praised, but, she's literally mute in real life. So, given her situation, it's pretty damn good. And given other people's situation, they could be that good as well. But, I guess the main takeaway is just lie about being mute, and no one's going to bother you about using your voice. Not saying that just as mute. Anyways, so she's, without question, definitely A tier. Next up, we got Knight. Oh, yes, our favorite male nurse. Remember him fondly. Haven't played too much with him lately. I would say knows how I play and what I want done. I'd say it's excellent. Super fun to play with. We had a lot of very fun drunk nights. Game knowledge and skill, they're all right. I would say, they're around there. This one's a little bit tough for me because I'm not sure where I want to put him. I almost want to put him B tier, but we haven't played in a while, so his skills might have deteriorated. I think we're gonna leave him in C tier. Yeah, that's sad, but we gotta do what we gotta do. All right, moving on. LCO. You guys already know I'm gonna give Gawk 3000 on LCO. Obviously, I hype him up all the time. Literally, probably the single greatest hat player in the game without question. Game knowledge and map knowledge, all that stuff. Skill, straight up 10 out of 10, just because it's like a walking little Canadian encyclopedia. Like, hey, LCO, what is the arming distance on this rocket? Or, how do I aim this? Anything to do with rockets or RPGs, and he's like the main guy to go with. Very, like, probably single-handedly, me and him could destroy it. He also does not mind jumping into other roles, such as gunner on any vehicle that I run. Communication skills are right up there, so yeah, we that's probably without question. A tier, without question. Ram Marsh, Corporal Marsh, or Jody Showershoe, as some of you guys might know him. The acquaintance, if you will. He at one point used to be one of my top gunners. I think it's kind of like fallen off. He's kind of fallen off the game. Some things are happening in real life, not too bad, but definitely a homie. I would say knows what I want without saying it. Incredible, like great, like that's right up there. Fun to play with, super fun to play with. We're always memeing with each other without question. I would say skill. I mean, he was one of my top gunners at one point. And perceived game knowledge, probably less, but he doesn't really have a chance to flex game knowledge too often. I think A tier. I'm thinking A tier. Yeah, surprisingly, I know that's a shock to some people. All right, Mass. This is a relatively new player, and for one, welcome. Congrats on being in the video. So Mass is relatively new, and we only played one game together, but I remember this game, and he said a comment that stuck with me. I was a little bit confused. It was, "You're the first American I've met." And I was like, wow, you're new. Like, that's incredible to me because, like, that's, man, so many Americans play Squad. We've only played once, and you seemed to listen to my orders and directives pretty damn well. So I can't really say how much, like, skill and perceived game knowledge and fun to play with, but any new player, even if you're watching this video, if you're brand new to Squad, you could take a lesson from him. Listening to your squad leader is, like, the main thing. And, yeah, be fun. Don't be boring. Don't be stiff. Unfortunately, we gotta throw you in D tier because we just haven't played too much. All right. Next up, we got Matt, another Caroline's member. Matt here is pretty damn experienced. I would say I don't even have to question his skill in any role that I put him in. Communication is pretty damn well. I'd say he's a little hot-headed at times, but that's okay. Fun to play with. We're always memeing and joking around with each other and knows how I want. He's probably played with me the most out of anyone, so I think without question this goes up into A tier. Quick! But, the less time I spend talking about you, the better it is, because it means I don't even have to question. Ooh, alright. This is gonna be a hard talk. Alright, so, you guys already know where I want to put it. Noob has been playing with me since I started streaming. Almost since I started playing Squad. Possibly has more hours in Squad than me. She's an expat member as well. One of definitely the homies, a staple within the Squad community, or at least within my community within Squad. And a friend. And knows what I want and how I play without question. Absolutely. Skill in terms of playing the roles, it's pretty damn good. Sometimes it can feel like it's less than expected. Logi runs with a hat kit. But it's super fun to play with. We always fuck around. We have jokes. And perceived game knowledge is right on par with where you expect. As much as I give her shit, I was feeling B tier originally, but I don't think I can put her anything less than A tier because she is that good. And it's not me simping for all the women. It's just simply, she's a good player without question. And she's fun to play with. So you really can't beat that. No way. This is little Norwegish LCO 2.0. LCO, both LCO and No Way, I think I'm like their squad dad because they take after me, and after a while you start to hear them say the exact same insults as me, like the exact same play styles, the exact same like mentality of like, oh fuck it, I'm going anyways. And it's just so funny to watch LCO and No Way do like the same shit that I do. And it's just funny. He's a streamer as well. Check him out. Noob also streams. I forgot to mention that. So we're all in like this little unofficial streaming crew. I don't know. Check him out. So yeah, let's get into it. Knows what I want done without saying it. Absolutely. He's a mini LCO. Or not even a mini LCO. He's LCO 2.0, but Norwegish. His skill, pretty good. Communication is on point too. Perceived game knowledge, pretty damn good, and yeah, fun to play with. So I think without question, this is an A tier gent right there. Red, whoo! Some of you guys might remember Red, another Caroline member. We love our Carolines here. We used to play quite a bit back in the day. I would say 10 out of 10 super fun to play with. He's just a super funny dude. Like definitely a punching bag in terms of like we'd all fuck with him, but he could take the shit and give it right back. So you can't say no to that. Perceived game knowledge. See, you know, with these next parts, I don't remember because it's been so long since me and Red had played. Red, we gotta play together again, man. Stop being fucking salty because I yelled at you for destroying crates in the in Zomboid. But we used to play together all the time, and that fell off. And you know, I know he's a good player. I think I gotta put him right there with Creamy because we just haven't played them. Next up, we got Ribbit. Yes, our Peruvian pilot friend here. Been playing with us for quite a while. I would say communication, a little bit lacking, but that might just be because of his accent. In fact, it's exactly because of his accent. Pretty much knows what I want done. I would say that's good. I would say he's super fun to play with. Perceived game knowledge, maybe lacking. There are some times where he'd say something and I'd be like, well, no, you don't want to do that because of this. And that's not to say like, oh, don't suggest things. It's just kind of like, I know, you know, if I have to say something, you know, I might remember that. So that's not going to knock him down. He's probably without question B tier. Yeah, I think he's pretty damn. Next up, we got Sanders. Yeah, so he's an on and off member. Our little man, I'm gonna fuck it up. Denmarkian, I think, not Danish, the other D word, and mostly plays Zomboid with him, but he's been jumping onto squad for a few times. He's surprisingly got a surprising amount of like skill within the game, which is kind of a surprise. I don't know if he just stares at my stream and just watches it and enjoys it, but he's got a surprising amount of skill for someone that doesn't play with me too often. As far as knowing what I want done, I would say it's pretty good. His communication skills are good, so he can at least listen and move on a directive, which you can't be wrong with. He's definitely fun to play with. He can take some shit and give it right back. But you know, I'm having a lapse in like trying to remember all the games that we've played, because again, he's a longtime follower, but it's been a hot minute since we played. I think unfortunately we have to put him in C tier, just because it's just been so much. And you know, now that I look at it and I look at C tier, and I'm like, well, Red's there and Creamy's there, but they're at C tier, but then Knight's there. I gotta remember, it's not a popularity contest. These are popular people that are up here. However, popularity is like playing with me, and the more time you play with me, the more I can like get a sense of it. Knight was the one that made me question it, because Knight I feel like might be B tier, but it's just we haven't played in so long, and I can't get a good assessment. Maybe even Orbit, but I gotta remember that really B tier is just B plus and C tier is B minus. It's kind of how I'm thinking about it in my head, because honestly, B tier would just be the one. Next up, Little Wipe, our fourth Caroline's member. I told you, them Caroline, them Swedes, man. Caroline, blood runs deep. Little Wipe here, some might say I stole him from the Caroline's community, but I don't think so. Wipe is probably my #1 gunner right now. Communication is pretty on point. It can be kind of messed up sometimes. I might not understand him, and I might have to ask what, but that's not a fault of his. It's me not listening. Knows what I want done without me saying it. Absolutely, without question. Super fun to play with. No question about that. And perceived game knowledge, knows more than me. I don't even have to say prop. I think I play the metagame a little bit more because I squad lead all the time, but in terms of like, you know, rally burn distance or something like that, like he knows that number right off the top of his head. And you know, that's real quick. Actually, I'll say this at the end. So without question, he goes into A tier. And then lastly, we got CK41. CK41 is the kind of in an exclusive role to where we haven't played too much, but I know he's good, and he's helped me out quite a bit. He's actually going to be the first one in the special tier. If you guys don't know him, he's the one that made my bot that shows me what server I'm in and allows all you guys to come in, jump in, have some fun. So he definitely deserves the special tier. Unfortunately, I haven't played with him too much. I know he's good, but I haven't played with him. So, like, real talk, he might be like C tier, unfortunately. But, hey, CK, maybe we should play together. So that concludes the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Some of you might be upset about your tier. Some of you might be happy about your tier. I don't care. It's all a meme. It's all a joke. Don't get offended. Grow some thicker skin. If you want to be on the next tier video, make sure you react next time I put out a ping that an announcement. Obviously, I'm gonna keep this here, and then we'll add to it. Maybe we'll see some people change around. When will I do another one? Who knows? Maybe 6 months from now. This is just kind of a joke, but this is a super easy video for me to make because it's my own thoughts and opinions. I don't gotta do any sort of research, and I don't gotta add clips. So editing is gonna be super easy and fast, which is, you know, kind of thing that I love to do. Fucking hate it. But thanks for watching, guys. Once again, go ahead, check me out on Twitch for some to watch some of these guys play and see how I interact with them. And enjoy, guys, and to have fun with squad, and don't let the infantry combat overhaul get you down. Take care, guys.